I
Oh,
realize I look like Cindy Lou Who, but we're trying this new blow dry era. And I don't, so I'm on a hair health journey. You know about my hair health journey. Got a lot of oils, put all the oils in. The problem is it's really hard to wash all the oils out. So yeah, don't look at me like that. Anyways,
how many times do you have to wash your hair to get all the?
well, I only washed it once, and that's the problem. That's why we have this little like errant.
I don't look like Ace Ventura.
I would say I don't know what that is, but I don't watch that movie.
Looking at you.
Okay, well, but you see people who try and blow dry their hair and then they put the curlers in. This is what it looks like, right?
I mean, I'm not good at it either. I understand. It's very hard.
Yeah. And I don't have the clips, so I just use bobby pins and I'm afraid it's going to leave a crease. But it's raining in LA, so it's all going to fall in like 30 minutes anyways. So fucking cheers. Anyways, what's new with your life, Brett?
Let's see how it'll look. My life is good. I've had a good week, to be honest. Had a good work week. A lot of.
I mean, my life was easy, and I'm sitting over here being like, my TikTok was hacked. I had to go on WhatsApp and deal with the hackers from Turkey, and I was threatened or told that I had to pay $2,500 to get it back. And I was like, cool. I'm gonna go learn how to code to hack the hackers.
We were trying to text people, trying to figure out who knew how to code. One dude I reached out to, he was like, I'm really flattered that you think I'm that smart, but I don't know how to hack into TikTok. And I was like, well, I knew you wrote computer code. Like, who knows? But you know what? Leave it to Eve Colson, because if anyone knows how to get shit done, it's this girl. Like,
I left my gym class. I was in my gym class and I get sent this video by one of my followers who's like, I saw this on Discord, like, try this hack. And I'm in the gym class, and I leave like 10 minutes in. And today I go back to the gym, and the trainer literally was like, I saw you left early on Thursday.
You know what though? Okay, I have a little bone to pick. I have a little bone to pick. If you go to a gym class and it is structured or whatever, I'm there because I want a little bit of structure. But if I kind of do my own thing, don't bother me. I'm doing my own thing. Like, you care. I'm here.
I'm going to the gym class so I look hot this summer. I'm not going to the gym class because I'm like a weights girly. Like, I'm one of those people who's like, yeah, gotta get the right form, gotta fucking crush it. Like, I'm going so I have abs. Or not abs, but like so I can drink wine, right? Like, that's the whole purpose I'm there. So if I leave 15 minutes in, I still did 15 minutes. Like, why don't I get a celebration?
I know, at least you showed up. That's the hardest part, is being there. I know.
I agree with you on that. Or if you want to do something else, like you the other day, you were like, I want to do a different move from what the like suggested move is. And they come and correct you and you're like, okay, like I didn't want to do that.
It's also like, I've had neck surgery, so like I can't do some of the overhead moves, but I'm not going to like announce that in this class that I go to like randomly once a week. Like, just leave me alone.
I love when they're like, raise your hand if you have an injury we need to talk about. And I'm like, no, like, yeah, like we could all raise our hand. We're over 30. Like, you want to talk about
my knees hurt.
I'm tired, but I'm not going to raise my hand and be like, sorry, my back aches. Like, no. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so we've restructured our podcast a little bit. We kind of like, this was the structure we were going to come in with. I can't even take myself seriously with this.
I mean, you know what? You do you, boo.
Right, I've got places to be tonight and I need to have a blowout. We've kind of restructured it. It was something that we talked about early on, but we were figuring out our chemistry or whatnot. I say chemistry like we're in a romantic relationship. But anyway, it's called Bold Opinions, Bad Decisions, because I wanted to talk about heavy topics, taboo topics, but I wanted to do it with some lightheartedness, some relatability, some humor. And I also wanted to talk about like our own stories in terms of bad decisions, things that we wish we would have done differently, things that we now know, things that we see other people doing that we're like, maybe not. I would advise against it. So today we're going to structure it the way we'd thought about, which is we're going to start with our bold opinion, move to our bad decision, and then do a little segue on why to men, because why the fuck do men? What'd you say?
I have a lot of bad decisions sometimes.
Was last weekend a bad decision?
No. You know what? It wasn't actually. I had a great weekend last weekend. The pheromones are out, and I have a really great weekend. I mean, I met some great potentials. I'll be honest. Yeah.
I'm the great wing woman. I'm good at it.
I don't really know what was on, but it was on.
Were you ovulating last weekend?
No, that's this weekend. So let's see if that.
Are we both ovulating this weekend?
That's apparently supposed to attract better. I haven't.
Yeah. Have you worn my pheromones? Have you ever worn them?
No.
Have I showed you my pheromones?
Like yours personally?
No, my pheromone stick. Have
Like,
I
why
really?
would I wear your pheromones? I'm like, I don't know about that.
Okay. Do you know who Anna Redmond is on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette? She was on it like 5 or 6 years ago.
No, I kind of stopped watching after Claire Crawley's season or whatever.
This is pre Claire Crawley, but
Oh,
I've also stopped watching. But she swears by this roller you can get on Amazon called Basic Instinct. It's unisex, but it effectively amplifies your pheromones. Girl, guy, whoever. You can wear it with perfume. It just, whatever your natural like pheromone smell is, it just makes it stronger.
bring it
So
up tonight. Let's do a little like
yeah, no, I
demo
will. I will.
trial.
1000% I will. Everyone, also, what's really interesting about it, because I've done a test, it smells different on everybody. Yeah, like if I put it on me and I put it on you, we'll smell, and you can tell that it smells like two different things because it amplifies whatever your natural pheromones are. I don't know the science behind it, but I'll bring it out. Yeah, your pheromones apparently like attract people.
I knew
Bold
that.
opinions. Let's start. I want to hear your take because you know my take a little bit, but I don't know yours.
Okay.
I think, and this is the opinion, I think that education, and I'm saying this as someone who has a graduate degree and has a high education, Cindy Lou over here. I think that education is not as necessary and relevant to status, monetary growth, career growth as it was in the 1990s, as it was when we were going to high school and college. Bold opinion. Doesn't mean I don't think I want my kids to have an education, but I don't think it is of the same necessity as it was.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I actually have talked about this before as well. I agree with you in that sense. I think with the rise of like social media and the younger like generation that has kind of peaked in that area, why would they go to college? My only concern would be though is like once you age out, what are you going to do unless they're investing properly, right? Like
Well,
you don't, what do you have to fall back on in case like something happens, and you need an income, but you can't do it through social media anymore, things like that.
think about it in comparison to like a professional athlete. Like there's a limited window in which you can be a professional, for example, basketball player, football player, whatever, right? If
Right.
you get hurt, if you age out, what have you, like there's a window, but in that window, you can make significant success if you're good at it, right? But not, I mean, a very small percentage make that significant success. So in terms of social media, there's a small percentage that are going to like blow up and go viral. So it's not so much that I'm saying that. I guess what I'm saying is that we're moving towards a technological society,
Yeah.
and skill sets in technology, I think, are learned by using. Like you can self-teach yourself code. You can self-teach social media, you know what I mean? Curation online, whatever, aesthetic online, Photoshop, etc. Right? Like maybe they do teach that in college now,
They do.
but
They actually have a social media class now, like how
I
to
think that's I
influence.
think that's super, super important. But it's like all of that stuff is people are learning on their own at home. They're not like, we weren't learning calc on our own at home, right? We weren't learning. I guess what I'm saying is that people are learning more things in real life rather than needing to go through a college class for it. For example, I think of like entrepreneurs. They often didn't go to business school, but they have the experience to excel if they have the drive and the work ethic and the perseverance. And I think similarly, a lot of younger people now have a background in tech, coding, et cetera, from personal experience, not because they took a class in it. And
Yeah.
they can really have a career without having been to college. That being said, do you think that there are things that you learned in college that you couldn't learn in real life or you wouldn't have?
No, because I do think that that's where some of the systems is kind of screwed up. Like, why weren't they teaching us in college about 401ks, Roth IRAs,
Right.
mortgages, like all of that stuff that we actually need to use in our adult life
The
And
difference
so
between
like,
HMO and a PPO, like you're telling me I've just got to read this little paragraph when I get a new job and somehow know what I'm supposed
and
to do?
understand it. Like, no, you're not taught those things, the things you
No.
actually need, in that sense. But
Women's health when you're ovulating, I
right.
didn't know that, and I'm a woman, and it's my own body, and I'm expecting a man to know that? Like,
I mean, I learned about that more because of my field being in medicine, but you're
right.
right. There should, and I think in like high school, you had to take a reproductive class, but they're not sitting there teaching you, maybe nowadays they are, but in the South, they were teaching abstinence. They sure as hell weren't teaching how to prevent pregnancy by tracking ovulation.
I mean, I've said this to you before, but like when I was 14, I took a pregnancy test because I thought you could get pregnant from a hand job. And I say that dead ass. Like I thought, and this is how I played it out in my head. I thought if I give a guy a hand job and he comes and there's semen on his hand or my hand, and then he touches me, I could get pregnant. That seems logical to me. No one told me that like sperm dies when it touches the air. No
Yeah.
one told me like any of these, no one told me that like you only ovulate 12 hours out of the month. So like I legitimately took a pregnancy test at 14 in Lower Alabama. And the thing about it is like, that sounds silly and I'm laughing, but like that wasn't that long ago. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of shocking. I mean, you're right. But I also probably depends on, where in the States you kind of grew up too, like
sure.
exactly on what they're like talking about. But I, I mean, I use my skills because I went to college for something I needed to use. I feel like a lot of my friends who went to school for like communication or like finance, business, they're not even doing some of the things that they went to school for. I have a friend that has an art degree and she's a data analyst. You know what I mean? Like she learned
Mhm.
that from just getting in with the right company and working her way through learning
Yep.
about that. So,
No one tells you how to network. No one tells you how to write a resume. I mean, you can go to the career center, but like, let's be honest, the career center,
yeah. I mean, how many times did you go to the career center in college?
not a once, not a once.
But now that the resources they have are Chat GPT, you can type in, write me a resume with this, this, and this. I have a girl I work with who's 24 going back to nursing school. She's like taking all of her stuff and she's Chat GPTing everything. And I'm like, to make a study guide for her. And I'm like, where was this when I was in nursing school?
Well, and then you're comparing, for example, I'm going up for a job against someone who that's how they're being trained. And their resume is obviously going to be better because ChatGPT is pulling from like the best resumes and writing in the country, right? So their resume is obviously going to be better. But are their interpersonal skills going to be the same? Are their social awareness going to be the same? Because we went through like, it's almost like comparing apples to oranges. Like if you're comparing millennials, I'll say millennials and I won't say Gen Z, but I'll say Gen Alpha, like the generation that's in college right now.
Yes.
Comparing them applying to jobs to us, I think is going to be a really weird shift career wise, because not that one was smarter than the other, but the way we learned and what we were told was important to learn is so different. Like my college experience, I had to take X amount of math classes, whether I did anything relating to math or not. I had to take X amount of science classes, which could include psychology or whatever, right? Like I'm in the
Yeah.
law. Are people now, like, are they still given those requirements?
Probably not. I think it's probably is depending on what you're going to school for. I bet in like a more of a business communications aspect, you're probably getting taught more about the technological side of things, like with Chat GPT, utilizing those resources, utilizing, like
Does that scare you
different
though,
type.
ChatGPT?
What'd you say?
I said, does that scare you though, ChatGPT?
I mean, I was like super against it when it first came out. And now here I am like using it to respond to text messages in a flirty way, like let's be honest,
Respond to this and say no, but like in a cute way.
cute way. Respond to this without being bitchy, but like get your point across.
But
Like my best friend.
can you spot when something was done on ChatGPT? Because I feel like I can.
What'd you say?
Can you spot when something was written on ChatGPT? Because I feel like I can.
I mean, I just no, I probably not. But also like I'm not like my like grammar is awful. Like that's not my strong suit, I'll be honest. So I feel like you are much more like, your
It's
grammatical
not,
errors
no,
better.
it's not that. It's, I can spot it because it doesn't sound like you. Like when you will
Yeah,
do
yeah,
like when we're putting up a podcast, right? We do a description. When you do a description through Chat GPT, I know it's Chat GPT. It doesn't sound like you. It
yeah.
doesn't sound bad. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't sound bad, but I'm like, Bray didn't write that.
Right. Because mine's not going to be as fun. It's going to be like probably like, oh yeah, today we're talking about this, this, and this bunch of bullshit. I just put some effort into it. Really, it's because I'm lazy and I don't want to think about it.
Okay, I have one more bold opinion.
Okay.
Don't come for me. You might come for me.
Wonderful.
So there's been a recent, not you personally, people may. There's been a recent
I was like,
influx,
what's this about?
recent influx in what I would say women in reality television coming out as lesbians. Gabby Wendy, Chriselle Stoss, Becca Tilley, Becca Moore, like I can, etc.
Okay. And what's the
Do
opinion on it?
do we think sexuality is a choice? And I'm going to say I think some people are born lesbians. I think some people choose to be. I think it's both. And I think a lot of people try and go one camp or the other. They either try and say, you're born that way, it is who you are, everyone should have a right to live their most authentic life. I think other people say, no, they're choosing it, whether right or wrong, they're making a choice. I want to say it's both. There are some people born into this world who like women or like women and men or what they like, whatever they like. There are some people who I literally think, and I'm using the 4 girls I just put as an example because they were on, 2 of them were on The fucking Bachelor. One was The Bachelorette. Like they come on there and they're like, nah, not men. Nah.
They just get fed up and they're like, okay,
It's over.
for this.
Yes. Like I literally think they're like, tried it, wasn't for me. If men improved, maybe, but they haven't. I've given it a fair shot. I was literally The Bachelorette. Nah.
I mean, that's a tough one, right? I think
So I said it's a bold opinion, but what's your take?
Walking on a very sensitive subject for some people and things like that. But I do think in today's society that it's a lot more accepted to be a little more what they call, what is it, fluid? I don't even know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Fluid. And so people are not, probably like, maybe they've always kind of had a little interest and they're like, well, now I can just openly like explore it.
Cool.
And then if I decide that I don't like it anymore, I can still go back here, but I'm not putting myself into a box of I am this, I am that. Whereas other people who are like born and they've always felt this way and they've always felt like they liked men or women or they weren't comfortable with who they were, then that's like a different type. You know what I mean? Whereas now I kind of feel like it's more accepted.
For sure. And I think that is allowing people to explore that. And maybe they were repressing feelings that they had when they were younger because it wasn't as accepted. But I'm sorry. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm a huge Gabby Wendy fan, but I feel like.
Yes. A lot of people are being like, oh, she's like the next Jennifer Coolidge. Like
I'm obsessed with her.
That vibe.
I literally think, this is me, don't know her personally, obviously, but I literally think one day she was just like, nah. Not doing it.
I mean, think about it, girl. You get worn down over and over and over again. Like,
I mean, you asked me. Do you remember asking me before I started dating my now boyfriend? Do you remember being like, because I would joke, I'd be like, maybe I'm just a lesbian. That's why I haven't met him.
Like, are you?
Like, you can tell me. You were like, you can tell me.
Legit asking, like, are you like wanting to like explore that side of yourself? And like I was like, I'm really checking in on you. And you were like, no, I'm joking. I was like, oh, okay, well, like we can chat about it. Yeah.
You want? I was like, oh, I can imagine a world where I'm just like, no. I mean, that Gabby used to be an NBA dancer. If you don't think she could get she was an NBA dancer on, I think she won Dancing with the Stars. And then she was the Bachelorette. If you don't think she could get any hot ass man she wanted, like.
It is though sometimes, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, is I think women, they as we get older, all you want is that like emotional connection. And it's so hard sometimes to find that in men when you're dating. And like, you get so like worn down trying to find the men who have some emotional intelligence in them, and like, I think that's what they end up latching onto. And so they like find that in like a friend or like someone that they find attractive, because you can say girls are attractive, guys can say guys are attractive and not want to sleep with them or, be with them.
I think women are beautiful.
Right. Fair. But at the same time, I think that's probably what ends up getting to that point where they're like, this is what I'm craving, right? Maybe they didn't have that. And so that's maybe what they're like looking for at that point in their life. Not saying they're going to stay that way, but it's fulfilling that need that wasn't being met,
I also think that men, and I don't blame men for their lack of emotional intelligence, especially our generation, because when I think back to my dad and how he was when I was a kid, if I'd been a son, I don't think he would have raised me to have emotions because it wasn't accepted. The same way dating someone of the same sex wasn't accepted, right? So like I don't blame men, I
Right.
blame society,
Yeah.
but I understand how we've gotten where we've gotten, right? Like I can understand how we got there. So, okay, switching gears. Was that a cool move? Should I do that more?
That was, especially with your hair curlers in.
Brittany's like, I don't fucking know why I'm friends with you, but here we are. By the way, when my blowout looks amazing tonight, should I take it out now and see if it looks
Yeah,
good?
take it out.
Okay.
I'm friends with Eve because Eve makes me laugh.
I don't have a lot of skills in life. Hacking TikTok's one of them. How do you not get these stuck in your hair?
Oh, girl, that is where
Right?
I don't even know. Do you remember like the foam curlers whenever you were little? Did you ever like church roll your
Yes. I used to use them. I used them in high school, and then you leave that crease.
you get like the Shirley Temple curls, you know?
Yeah. Now we've got like heatless curls and things, and I'm like reverting to our roots. We could have curled our hair with socks back in the day.
And
Um,
before we jumped into the lesbian theory, I wanted to mention about the like school and education is that I also read recently that a lot of people are not doing like I don't want to say blue collar because that's like, you know, a rude way to say it, but like they're not doing like what am I thinking of? Like trade work anymore. So like
yeah.
we're really losing out on like electricians, plumbers, like
Well,
things.
a lot of it's being taken over by AI. A lot.
And like, you know, sometimes at the end of the day, you might like we still need people that know how to do that. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like people are getting away from those jobs thinking that they don't necessarily like need them, but in the sense of like they're trying to like achieve to be some TikTok star or no
Right.
offense, or like you know, the next YouTube person. And to be honest, like people make shit on like HVAC technicians or electricians, but those people make some money. Like
And
they
they
make
can
a
fix
lot of
it.
money, especially if you like own your own business and do it. Like they do pretty well for themselves.
Wait, for not brushing it? This isn't terrible.
No, it's not.
I need Brittany's validation because otherwise I'm gonna be like, I fucked up.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
it's not terrible.
it'll
Dadgum,
fall.
my
What'd
light,
you say?
y'all.
You're
Yeah,
like, oh, I didn't even put mine on. I
but
put mine.
I actually had it charged. Oh,
Oh,
connection.
okay, so moving on to bad decisions. You had one, which I agree with, and I can give photo proof of. But talk to me about the bad decisions you've made or
Well,
contemplated.
I contemplated. Last week I almost got bangs. And I I kind of got some bangs. Like my hair's not really done right now. Like I kind of
Like
got
curtain bangs, like swoopy
like the
bangs.
curtain bangs, but I came real close to like cutting like the bangs. And I mean like
Yeah,
a smidge away from cutting the bangs. And then I was like, "You know what? Maybe I need to like take a step back before I make this weird like rash decision, you know?" And then I was talking to some of our guy friends about it over the weekend and I was like, "Yeah, like I still kind of want them. Like maybe I'll get them cut." This guy was like, your boy Glenn actually, or Eve's boyfriend. He was like, "You know, no, like girls don't look cute with it. We don't like them." And I'm like, "Really? Like I love bangs on girls. Like when they have them. Like I think they're so cute and like they're such a style, but that's what we need to have a poll on. Do men not like bangs? Because I think some girls can really pull them off."
I agree. He does not specifically like harsh haircuts. Like his girl crush is Blake Lively. And so he's always like, you can do whatever you want with your hair. Don't chop it off here. Don't do anything harsh. He just likes very soft, which fair enough. I'm still going to do what I'm going to do. But I bring this up to say when I first moved out to LA, I had bangs. Well, no, I moved out here and I got them cut. They looked like that. Fun fact, I have a cowlick. It's right there. Uh,
I'm sorry.
no, what was I thinking? Who let me do this? First off, like,
Person. Oh my god. That is
like
that's
yeah,
like
and
not as bad as one of my best friends from high school got bangs one time. And she has like a head of hair, right? Like it is so thick and beautiful. And sends us I wish I still had the photo. She sends us a photo of this big like bouffanted hair and then these bangs that just came out and stopped like right here at her brows and looked like a mushroom. And I was like,
it's like a
I was speechless and I almost said her name, but I was like, I don't even know what to say. But when she put her hair in a ponytail, it looked great. It was adorable. The long, cute Anne Hathaway Devil Wears Prada bangs, which is what I've always wanted. But
Sure.
she had too much hair to have bangs, and so she just looked like a giant poofy mushroom head for like a long time. That one, yours looks like you're going to be like Ashley Simpson. That's giving me Ashley Simpson vibes.
Except that, like, I was in a full J. Crew fit and I thought this was a thing.
It's very edgy for you.
It was very edgy for me. So I have to tell this story because my best friend, Miranda, she lives in Denver. We met at college and she came from LA. And so she shows up. I'm going to use the wrong brands because this was 20 years ago or 15 or whatever. But she shows up at college wearing like Juicy Couture sweatpants. I'd never heard of them. She shows up wearing like Free People bohemian tops and like low rise jeans, right? My entire closet was J. Crew polos. Pink popped polos, like not Lily Pulitzer.
Bubble.
No, but it should have been. And I remember at a certain point, we were probably like 3 or 4 months into college freshman year, her being like, we were going to, you know, the clubs used to have that were like the 18 plus clubs where you like couldn't drink, but like everyone would pass you drinks and they'd like bust the entire freshman campus to them. I would go to them in a pink polo.
I convinced
Okay.
my mom to let me go to a teen nightclub in small town Wilmington, North Carolina with guys I met at the skating rink, you know? So that probably wasn't safe either.
I was in East St. Louis in my pink popped polo with my accent. Things were going well. When I first started teaching, because I did like not Teach for America, but a similar program after college. When I first started teaching, they called me Miss Snowflake. Yeah. Fun fact.
And not for reasons other people are in college and called that.
No, I had never touched drugs. Still have not today. Like, I feel like that's my biggest bit. Like, whenever we play Never Have I Ever, I'm always like, I've never done coke. I've never done this. I've never done that. I've never done this. And everyone's like, come again? And I'm like, nah, I'm up here naturally.
Yeah. You don't need any more uppers.
No. Have you seen I'm sure you have listened to the episode from Hannah Berner on Giggly Squad where she's like, I was offered MDMA at the Vanity Fair party. And she was like, I didn't really know what to say. She's like, I felt cool being offered it, but like, no, I don't know what to do.
I'll pass.
Yeah, literally.
Experience, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, and now with fentanyl being such a thing, I'm terrified.
Oh,
Like,
I don't touch that stuff. Like,
there's a part of me that like imagined like, okay, when you're like 45, like you'll with your husband, you'll like dabble and try, right? And now I'm like, no, I'm not trying to die.
no, I mean, you can like get like the test strips like over like, you can order those from Amazon and stuff, but I mean, I've never used them or like tried that in that sense. But I think there's like ways, you know, that you can be a little bit safer with it, but it is scary and it's just not worth the risk these days. But that's because we're growing up, Eve. We're just like maturing so well.
So well. It's like I ate protein twice today. I made a protein burrito. Did you see my Instagram post? I was so proud of myself.
You know, I didn't. I've been like busy at work today.
Eggs and I mixed cottage cheese in my eggs, like the protein bitch I am.
I did that the other day, but I think I put too much cottage cheese in them and it kind of was like egg soup. And hey, you love soup? Maybe you could try that. I mean, I ate it anyway because I just got done with my trainer, but I was like, this is disgusting. And like, I
put 2 spoonfuls in and it actually made it really good. It made it like,
just like a fourth of a cup.
That feels aggressive. Glenn told me the other day, speaking of soup, we're laying in bed and he literally just turns over. It's probably like 7 a.m. and I was like on the Zoomies and he turns over and he was like, Eve, I just feel like I need to open up to you that like, I don't like soup. He doesn't like soup. He was like, it's just the texture thing. And he was like, I just feel like you post a lot about soup and you really like soup. So I just should tell you. And I was like, okay, cool. Well,
okay. And now I'm breaking up with you. Bye.
I was thinking about getting a crock pot and making a soup. And he was like, yeah, don't do that. He was like, no stew for me.
You can make like a chuck roast in your crock pot.
My dad on the phone the other day, I was talking to my dad, always asks, my dad is like, let me talk to you about a hype man who's happy I have a boyfriend. My dad, every time we gets on the phone, he's like, how's Glenn? Give my best to Glenn. And I'm like, you've never met this man, but okay, dad. So he says all that, right? And he's like, what are you going to do tonight? And I was like, well, Glenn's going to come over. We're going to figure out dinner. And he goes, you know, Eve, you could cook for the man.
Yeah, I think y'all have reached the point in a relationship that he deserves a home-cooked meal.
Yeah, that would require me to have a recipe.
Oh, I can give you one. I don't ever cook, but like I feel like you have to like earn that. You know what I mean?
I agree, but I also don't even cook for myself. Like, why am I cooking? Like,
I mean, I understand. I used to cook a lot more, but cooking for yourself, I feel like being like from where I'm from and like growing up with my mom, when I cook for like a family of 4. And so then I just have all these leftovers and I'm like, well, I'm not
we're
gonna eat country style steak 4 nights in a row. Like I wanted it tonight. You know what I mean?
and then it goes bad, and then you've wasted food, and you've wasted money, and you've wasted time, and you had to wash the dishes, and you're just like, I could have just had crackers and cheese, and this would have all been fine.
I mean, a little more substance than crackers and cheese, but I know it's your like favorite girl dinner.
The protein and a carb. I don't understand the issue.
What's
It
oh the cheese? Yeah. Yeah, saturated fat. It is. Yeah.
is also a protein, though.
Okay.
My cholesterol's probably high. I don't know. But I put my cottage cheese in my eggs today. And then today, unprovoked, I was like, I want a snack. And you know what I got? I had gummy bears as an option, and I didn't pick them. I picked the Chomps jerky thing.
Oh, that
So
is good. It's a good little like protein snack.
yeah. So basically, I'm a health guru.
You
Now,
are. I mean, you're literally going to be like jacked with abs in like by summertime. You know what you
just
should start doing if you do get jacked with abs? Cameos.
do you have to do them shirtless?
I mean, I don't know. I've seen some people recently that are doing that shirtless.
Should we do them together? Podcast money sponsored
So
by.
popular that like, we're doing cameos now. I think you should start broadcasting that on your TikTok.
Well, what I say, I would love doing cameos. First off, I feel like I would have so much fun. Like, you tell me you want me to.
I would like freaking hate that.
Oh, I fucking love it. If somebody was like, I'll pay you $50 to break up with my boyfriend for me,
Wait, that's what it is? I thought you like sang happy birthday to people, like
whatever you want.
these did.
It can be whatever you want. You can say what you do, but I feel like I would personally love to break up with men for people. Like, I'd be great at it. I fire people as part of my job, and like, I would be great at it. So down. Also would sing happy birthday. Also, I can dance. Not well, but I can. You looked at me with a face. Like, I love when you make a face, but you like don't say anything because you're like, I'm trying not to say this on camera, but I see the face and I'm just like, I see what you're doing there.
Just you are a good dancer.
Did you know me when my party trick used to be twerking off the wall? No.
I've been with you in a time or two when you have thrown your legs up against the wall and performed that, but I did not know that was your party trick.
Well, not anymore. I got told I wasn't very good at it, but
Yeah. Do you remember that time in Nashville whenever the girl tried to teach you how to pole dance at the divey bar that we were at? We might have a video of it. I'll try and find it for you guys.
oh, wow. And she was like teaching me how to go around the pole. I don't remember if she was a pole dancer or if she just could dance,
I
but
think
she was
she
literally
just
like, I got you. And I was like,
just
ooh.
dance, and you were having like a full on like dancing class instructions because we were so overhearing long neck ice cold beers never broke your heart. We were countryed out by that point.
Speaking of going to country night tonight, I'm excited to just yell country music at the
Me too.
loudest I can. That'll
Me
be
too.
fun.
It is fun.
What was I
One of my
about to say?
friends was like, do you think there's going to be like men here that we could like meet like for potentials? And I was like, at country night? I was like, I mean,
Oh,
you're
never.
people, but are they going to be like, you know, people like potential? Possibly, but I think it's more just go for fun because you enjoy country music. We were laughing about it. I said you might meet some hot boys you could look at.
Right. They're going to put on a cowboy hat that they bought for Stagecoach last year and some boots that are definitely not a nice brand. They might tear up in the rain. And they're going to pretend to know the lyrics to the Morgan Wallen song.
And then they're going to tell you that they're a virgin at the age of 30.
Not from experience or anything.
But hey, I've never had a bad time at country night. So if y'all are in the LA area and you see it's called Country Night, it is actually super fun. And
Performing at Stagecoach this year, they're going to be in Diplo's Honky Tonk.
I know.
Okay, so final segment. I've wanted to talk about this for a while because I think that it's like there's so many questions that I have that it's just like men are from Mars, women are from Venus, right? There's so many questions where I'm just like, why do men? Like, why? And I just want to put them out there so we can discuss. And I'm going to ask them at large, and I just want you to give me your rationale on why. You can.
Put on the spot.
Well, you can flip it. You can give me one too.
Okay.
But like, why do men? And I'm going to start with why do you think men love vests so much? Like, why are men into vest?
Okay.
Give me a logical explanation.
Aside from your father who keeps his maps in his pocket.
Right. He wears vests with pockets.
Right. Your dad does wear vests. But you know, I don't see a lot of men with vests in LA. So
But
back
you're from the
home,
South and you know a man in a vest.
what'd you say?
I said, you're from the South and you know a man in a
Yeah,
vest.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're pointless. Most men do not look good in them unless they wear them a certain way, right? And how would you say that is?
So I think you have to be a thin man to wear a vest because they just add bulk to your midsection. If you are a big man or have a beer gut or are not slim fit and they're not tailored, right? They're very boxy. So
Correct.
it's kind of like the equivalent to me of a sack dress
Right.
on a big girl. A
Yeah.
sack dress on a girl who's a little twig is going to give her some curves and give her some shape. Not necessarily shape like hourglass, but it's going to make her look fuller, right? Not as twiggy. But you put a sack dress on a larger or more athletic girl and she's just going to look like a stuffed sausage. That's how I feel about vest.
A bag
You
of
put a,
potatoes.
yeah, you put a vest on a string bean, he's going to look fit. You put a
Right.
vest on a jacked man, he looks like a stuffed sausage.
I think it depends on how they wear it. So, like, think about you have your vest where the guys that'll like you put on your little polo and they put on their little vest and they zip it up. Well, that looks awful. Nobody should be going out in that. Maybe if you're actually, no one should wear that.
Oh,
But I have seen a man that'll wear kind of like a flannel, like a thick flannel or like a
sure.
button down. And then they'll wear like a Patagonia style vest and wear it open with like dark denim and like a trucker hat. Like that's hot. You know what I mean? But that's a little bit more like we're going to go camping. That's attractive.
But then my thought process is this. If it is cold enough for you to be wearing a vest, why aren't you in a coat? Like if it is so cold that you gotta keep your organs real nice and warm and toasty, like what's going on with your limbs? And so then are you wearing a vest as a fashion statement? And why do you care so much about fashion? And if we're going hiking, why are you worried about what you look like? I'm supposed to be the pretty one.
Touche. Touche.
The vest. No
I have
purpose.
an argument on that. That's my closing argument was prior.
So just take your jacket and cut the sleeves off. Why do we need to buy vests? Like
Some of them they like come where you can like undo the sleeve.
oh, you want a vest with a removable sleeve? Okay.
Pants,
Or pant for jackets?
the pants that'll do that. You can like unzip and they're like fishing pants. I feel like a lot of like fishermen wear them.
So my ex-fiance used to wear them.
Oh, I would divorce them right there.
And he thought it was really fun to unzip the bottom part. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I can't be seen in public with you. And they had pockets. There were so many pockets. And I know that's like back in fashion now. Also, wait, you're not watching Temptation Island, are you?
No.
What is it with men and painting their fingernails now?
Oh, yeah. This is so funny you bring this up. I literally just had this conversation with my neighbor. Like, we were talking about guys, and she was like, talk about like some of them around here, and she was like, I just don't know if I could go on a date with him. Like, he's just like he like paints his fingernails. And then I was like thinking about like celebrities that do that, and I'm like, Paul Jackson Klein, like Lainey's lead singer. He's kind of hot and he paints his nails.
Tom
Machine Gun
Sandoval.
Kelly, who else?
Usually it's like a black or a white. Like, whatever.
It's not my thing. I'm just not really attracted to that. So I don't, even if they were like somebody of famous or whatever, I don't think I would want to.
It feels like guys wearing jewelry, like the guys that wear, it's like the same vibe as the guy who wears like the one earring with the cross on it. It's very Machine Gun Kelly vibe. It's a Machine Gun Kelly vibe. It feels like you're trying to tell the world you know about sex. And I don't know how the two are correlated, but somehow if a guy's wearing fingernail polish, it feels like you're telling me I get down in the bedroom.
I don't know. I've never really like thought about it in that sense. I've just kind of always been like, oh, he has painted nails. Like,
so there's a guy on Temptation Island right now, which I'm deep diving, who has white nails with black like dots on them. He's got nail art.
yeah, that's a lot. Like, again, I get it. For the women, don't come to Pilates unless we invite you. Don't paint your fingernails. If you want to go get a pedicure, like we can go get pedicures because you don't need to have gross toes, but you don't need to have them painted. Like, leave.
It feels like you're doing too much. It feels like you're doing too much.
Nerve.
Right. No, it's like for me, it's the guy version of a pick me. Like, why are you trying to be prettier than me? Like, why are you? Now I feel bad if my nails aren't done because you've got like nail art. Like, are you gonna start getting press-ons? What if your press-on comes off in me? Like, I have a lot of questions.
If I went on a date and the guy had on damn press-on nails and they popped off, I would get up and walk out in a heartbeat. I don't even think I would say anything. That thing would pop off and I would literally probably look at him and be like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And I would get up and leave and immediately.
Well, once they learn that nail polish scratches and comes off, they're going to start being in the press on. There's a nail place like 2 blocks from me called Toolkit. and it's like slogan is like men's fingers need care too or whatever.
I agree with. Yeah, like men can go get manicures or pedicures, but I'm not like against that. Like I like when a man can like, take care of himself. Like you don't want nasty fingernails. Like how gross is it when there's like dirt underneath people's fingernails? Like it's disgusting. Like
That's
they're
true.
doing
Fair.
stuff with those hands. Like make sure they're clean in all
Mhm.
areas.
Do you believe
But
in washing your hands?
excuse me?
Do you believe in washing your hands?
Yeah. I work in medicine.
I don't believe in it because I think that should have been my bold opinion. I don't believe in it because I think my immunity is getting better by me not washing my hands. And my boyfriend washes his hands like fucking 12 times a day. Like
Oh
it
my
doesn't matter
God.
what he's always washing. And I'm like, well, you know what? When COVID 12 comes to get us, I'm going to be immune and you're not. You're going to be the weak one.
On that note,
Okay. Anyways, let's get ready for country night.
wash your hands and your body.